Welcome back to another edition of Cannabis in Canada with Jason Wilcox, kicking to you live, kicking on the set in BC, coming to you from British Columbia, Canada. Yes, heavily medicated and having a freaking good time. We won our injunction, the federal government is restrained, you know, history is basically made, and the coalition is here to stay until such time as the Constitution has basically laid its decision down. And no, I'm not trying to be a rap artist, I'm just kind of, once again, medicated. And in here to talk a little more about the coalition. I want to split this in with the other stuff. It's important that we talk about some of the different ways to protect yourself, what does the injunction actually mean, etc., etc. First thing I want to do is just kind of give a shout out to our sponsors before I get into my medicine, and forget to give a shout out. We have so many. You know, there's Eden Medicinals at $2,000. There's iMedicate at $1,000. There's Green Cross Society at well over $2,000. There's Cronin Medicinals at around $750. There's all these different clubs. MedPod now that they're $1,000. British Columbia Compassion Club Society, they did some lockbox donations for us. Weeds recently $200 donation from their Compassion Club. We lay challenges down that other clubs step up like they have to represent their members and to start doing the same as these other clubs are doing, you know, from coast to coast. This is a national fight that represents all of Canadians. Okay, all Canadians that have a license and all Canadians who may wish to grow their plant in the future, we're fighting for you. So it's your job. If you really have an interest in wanting to one day grow your own medicine, then it's good to get behind this fight, because there's nothing more we can do about the injunction. The injunction is as stands. But for those that have permits, and the judge even is in more of a shock because our interpretation of the order through council was that September 30th, you were good, as long as you had a license past known as a kill date, where you can no longer renew your license, okay? Or where you can no longer get new applications, on September 30th. That's not the case. Health Canada today announced, or yesterday was it, that they announced simply that you can no longer, that the date is the 21st of March, the date that the decision was handed down for the injunction, that Health Canada is using that as your date. So if your date is before that, then you are technically not covered by the injunction in Health Canada's eyes. Now Mr. Conroy is out of the office and the judge is out of the country. So we cannot get you an answer on that right now, but we will certainly circle around it. In the meantime, and now as I addressed this earlier, I'll address it again. Photocopy your pink permit. Mine's around here somewhere. I have a pink permit, and that pink permit is very important. I just had mine scanned digitally into my computer. And again, having that copy scanned, making sure there's a copy at your doctor's office, a copy in your cell phone, whatever, your personal carry license, and your production license. Because if a rogue officer, because Health Canada, again, they cited cost. They're not going to let 100,000 officers in Canada know, hey, there's a federal injunction in place, leave the medical patients alone. There might be some officers in small towns that are pissed off with certain growers that have had an attitude with the officers because they had a license. And you may very well have a rogue officer show up at your house. I suggest, one, have a camera ready or your cell phone camera ready and record everything because they're in public uniform, you know, and two, make sure that they have a warrant. If they don't let them through the threshold of the door. If you let them in your doorway, you effectively give them what amounts to a warrantless search, you know, and you allow them to then secure the premises for their own safety. And it's something that you need to understand around your own personal privacy rights. And this is fundamental because, my friends, there's some things that just changed today. Today I can only carry 150 grams. A friend of mine the other day and I were discussing this. It's like, my God, after a decade now we can only carry 150 grams. There's something called your Section 6 Charter Mobility Rights. Section 6, look it up. There's mobility rights. What that is essentially the right to have free mobility in this country. So myself with a 20 gram a day license, after 10 years of the program, being a legal exemptee, if I want to go on vacation for 2 weeks, I'm restricted to have to buy my cannabis illegally wherever it is that I go on vacation. Be it back east in Ontario, no matter where it is, it becomes a problem with the various aspects of the injunction. Of course, there's going to be frustration, and with the appeal coming forward and the way that it's going to be put out in the media, I think that if we open our eyes and we look at what the general support is, the public read the CBC transcripts, most of them, the academics, and they're sharing the information. At the end of the day, fire, mold, and organized crime and public safety issues are anecdotal. And I believe that irreparable harm, of course, the balance is on our side for that. And of course, I believe the appeals courts will find no different. It's something that is more procedural for the courts, and we need to just look past that. and move forward. So again, back to the sponsors, a big one too is Green Planet Nutrients, who's been with us from the word go. I mean, they flew me to Toronto a year ago, they're flying me to Toronto again this year. I mean, that's all about representing for the coalition, as well as they're my sponsors for my indoor grow, for my legal grow. But that being said, they were a huge endorsement for the coalition, always have been. They've been humble in the background and quiet, and I'm here to now stomp their name down and say, you know, that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a case right now. And they're just one of many people that helped us. But at a key juncture where we almost lost Mr. Conroy because we couldn't get over a $10,000 mark, you know, it was friends of friends throughout our network that was able to help us get those funds, to get over that mark, to be able to keep John engaged, that we would be able to come up with the funds. And sure, money's coming in now, and we're showing that we're able to project that we'll be able to fund this case, as long as we keep working in a collective. But just on that note, going back to that, big up to Green Planet, you know, the true nutrient company that's actually represented the coalition for 18 months from day one to the end. I went to them with the plan from day one, explained what I thought, explained what the attorney said and what John Conroy told me, and boom, they were on board. So big ups to Green Planet Nutrients, as well as Pacific Northwest Garden Supply and their 9 stores as well that support the coalition, and it's helped us in a host of different ways. I'm not going to get into specifics, but financially, they're probably the largest endorsement that we've had, next to our recent fundraiser where Mr. Dana Larson is now in for $12,000. He did a dollar for dollar challenge within our Facebook group, and that's now come out. He capped it at $12,000 just before April 1st, and we went right up to actually $18,000 on that particular challenge. So it's 18,000 plus 12,000 is our total, which is whatever, 28,000 that we raised on that fundraiser. So thank you very much, Dana. We'll certainly be down to see you for a check. Just messing with you, man. Yes, we're very proud of that particular fundraiser. And Dana's challenge, he's laying it down. All you guys out there, Dana runs 2 medical dispensaries. He's laying the challenge down, so am I, and so is freaking Green Planet Nutrients. You guys out there that represent medical patients and growers, okay, you have a lot of invested interest in your grow tents and your specialized lights, which I'll be covering in one of my future movies here. You have invested interest, and you have invested interest in supporting your medical patients. Just like these silly LPs, that many of them, these millionaires, they think that by boycotting us and saying that we're somehow a danger to the public and getting on the radio and talking about it, and then saying, oh, but by the way, we want you to buy our weed. Are you freaking kidding me? 1, you call it marijuana, it's not even its true scientific name being cannabis sativa. 2, you don't offer the right strain efficacies or specifics. You don't get into any of the research. And worst of all, you go along with the government in some anecdotal conspiracy theory that we're somehow a public safety threat because of what a few bad apples do. You just want to throw out the whole bunch. And I believe that that's because that helps fill your pocket. And I'm calling you guys out on that. And for you other licensed producers out there, and I know there's a lot of you that are in the queue, 480 or something like that now or more, you're in the queue waiting. And I hope you get your licenses, because I know some of y'all aren't going to get them a process. You're going to look at a bunch of different strain varieties, you're going to look at research and the different strain efficacies, you're going to advocate for a frontline service where patients can counsel with other patients, you know, about what it is that they're dealing with cannabis, since the doctors, by their own admission, know absolutely shit about it. Hell, cannabis still holds no position, there's no medical value to cannabis. So why is the coalition here? We're here for a legal justification, and when that's done, what the group decides to do, I don't know. But I tell you, they're a pretty politically strong group at this point. And one thing I do know is that this fight is far from over. Now with the appeals, there's that much more cost, you know. And then we got to go now through the appeals and then onto a constitutional challenge. And we're not even going to get into court till like the end of the year. So, and then we got a year of trial. And then of course we got appeals, you know, and then we get a year if we win for the government to fix the problem. All of which time the injunction would stand. So the issue of the address change is issues that are very concerning, because certainly people are going to move for medical reasons, people are going to move for personal reasons, and people are simply going to move because they might get evicted for the very medicine that they're being protected by this injunction for. So I don't think Mr. Manson, I can't speak for a justice, but I don't think the justice necessarily in his decision knew the intricacies of the MMAR and whether that's even applicable, because Health Canada simply wants out, like I said, as of today, April 1st, Health Canada's out of the game. That's what they wanted, that's what they got, and they're out of the game. So to them, they don't want to do any more paperwork, nothing, that's it, you know, it's over. So without that address change, again, that injunction coverage, it goes back to, well, in 2 months, if I move, does that mean that I gotta go find 8 pounds worth of kitty litter to cover my 8 pounds of cannabis so I can destroy it just because I had to move? Because I can't take any more than 150 with me outdoor, and I can't store any more than 150 with me anywhere else. So it's these little things where they're little but they're very big if it's going to be over an extended period of time. So I hope that the courts address that. I'm not going to ramble on too much other than to once again thank our sponsors and to let you all know this is still just the beginning. We only preserved the temporary right for our gardens, and we need to look at the long haul and what it's going to take to actually fund this case and do what's needed, from buying t-shirts to getting custom glass such as this. I'll ask my camera lady there just to zoom in on some of the different coalition stuff there. There's the coalition custom maintainer, and Redbeard Glass has done the coalition. Another one of our sponsors has done all the coalition glass for us. And then of course Green Cross Society and Paul Hunt, one of our national steering committee members, did the shirts for us. These are just the first round of shirts of many that we'll do. And these are just some of the different ways that we've been doing fundraising. Concerts. We've had 3 concerts, all of them being successes, and all of them raising over $2,000, right up to $17,000. And just today I got a call. I mistakenly took Red 1. Sorry, Red. I mistook them for Red Beard because they're both programmed to my phone as Red and Red. And I have Red 1 and Red. So anyway, I answered the phone and I was kind of talking to him about the billing for the glass. So we had proper accounting and he didn't exactly know what I was talking about, but enough said. Red is looking at doing another concert with us, which is the Rascals, of course, Juno Award-winning Canadian hip-hop group. That they'll be doing another performance for the coalition and helping us secure a venue and making sure that we pop it off the hook again and make it a weedy night in Vancouver. And of course it's going to be a smoke-friendly event like the last one, and Red has guaranteed us that. So Red, I'm putting that one on you because we know we got in a lot of trouble last time, but it was a hell of a lot of fun, wasn't it? And we certainly look forward to work with you guys again. And big up to Red Med Dispensary, big time sponsor and huge help. And thanks again, Red. And Red Beard for the glass, Red 1 from the Rascals. It just goes on. There's just so many sponsors that I can't thank enough people. I can only say that going into 2014, we're going to have that many more sponsors. If you're interested in being a sponsor of the coalition, please contact any national steering committee rep. It doesn't cost nothing to endorse us. We'll put your logo up on our website and you'll be up there as an endorsement. And of course, the ones that are more financially endorsed with the coalition or have donated financially, then we do additional promotion in that regard. And we do have other events, like the concert that I mentioned coming up. Another concert is being formed for London, Ontario. And any sponsors in Ontario might be interested. These are some of the things that we're doing. People are wondering how to get involved. Look at forming your own event, forming your own concert, and then getting in touch, or your own venue, and getting in touch with the national community representative, and looking at how we can go about helping to promote that and run that through proper channels, such as PayPal accounts, etc. So that being said, we've covered pretty much everything for the injunction, and the injunction is now done, other than the appeal process, and we move on to constitutional. And for now, place that order beside your permit, photocopy your permit. Again, carry an electronic copy in your cell phone, so if you get stopped in public, your permit doesn't get torn up. If you lose that permit, you lose your injunction basically, because it's going to be pretty hard to prove you're legal. I'm not sure how it's all going to play out, but when John's back, we're certainly going to sort it out. And if you're wondering what the rest of my mess is here for, stay tuned for a future movie, because I will be talking about some shatter, some Phoenix Tears, some of the stuff that's not covered under the MMAR, and how that applies to us medically, and not on the coalition track. So sort of they tie together, but I'm medicated, what the hell. We'll see you in the next show. It's Jason Wilcox signing out.
This is blossoming at a hydroponic shop in BC. Sales have been smoking hot ever since 2 U.S. states legalized marijuana. The company, called Green Planet, carries everything anyone would need to grow plants, any kind of plants, indoors. In Colorado, it is now legal to have 6 marijuana plants in a secure area.